Hi, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today we're making a six-pieces skirt with a total of 3 yards of fabric. This Ankara print, which is also known as African print. So this down part for the flare, I'm coming out by 10 inches. And then to start with, on the waistline, we're going to be coming out by our nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2, which is our dart, also known as our dart. So mine is 4.5 and I placed it there. And then from the waist to my hip points, I measure it down, and my knee length, from my waist to my knee length. This is what I'm marking out now, and then we'll roll it out. So next on the hip line also will be coming out by 4.5, which is my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. And on the knee length, we'll be using 4 inches instead of 4.5. So to give it more fittings and shape. And now we'll be connecting this line downwards. Then we extend it to our flay, which is 10 inches. Your flay determines the yards of your fabric that you're using. Maybe you're managing a 2 yards of fabric or a 3 yards. So, and then we'll cut this out. So this is our front middle part. The three pieces in front, this is the middle part we just achieved. And next is our back, the middle of the back one. So the only difference is just the zipper allowance, which is 2 inches. So next is the two sides of the front and the two sides of the back. And as you can see, I folded this fabric into four so as to give us the two remaining parts of the front and the two remaining parts of the back. So first of all, we'll be trimming out the middle parts on this so that our flay will be equal, and then you pin it down by 1/4 of an inch or half inch, depends on how you know how to manage this. So now we'll be taking our full waist measurement divided by 4. You see, this method is the easiest method for 6 pieces. Then we'll be adding our sewing allowance. I added 2.5 for this because you want to have enough sewing allowance for a 6 pieces skirt so that it can fit well after sewing. So now on the on the hip line, we'll be dividing our hip measurement divided by 4, and also you add your 2.5 inches sewing allowance because you're going to be turning it out with the lining and also joining it together, so you need enough allowance. So for the new measurements, I divided my hip measurement minus 4 inches, and I divided by 4, and then had my sewing allowance, and then I extended the down part by 10 inches, and this is what we have. Already our 6 pieces is coming together. As you can see on the down part of one side, the fabric was not enough. I'm just going to be cutting the pieces from the waist and add it to that place, and after sewing it, you make sure you want to iron it flat so that it would not look as if you join it at all. So this is the two sides of the front and the middle part of the front, and voila, our 6 pieces is 50% ready. So because of the zipper allowance for the back parts will have four pieces instead of three pieces because the middle point of the back pieces will be divided by two because of the zipper allowance. This is how I'm joining the parts that needs to be joined for the back parts, and you can see it's almost invisible that we did any magic there. Now we're going to add to cut lining for each pieces of it. And first of all, we'll be joining the main fabric, which is to put the side just the way you see me do in this video, by this, and then you put the other side on it like this and stitch it down. The same thing you're going to be doing for the lining. And this is for the front part. So for the back part, it also has four lining as the fabric. So now we'll be joining this. You pick the main side of the back part on the mid part on the other side, just like this, and then you stitch it down, and you do the same thing for the lining. This is it after stitching it down, and then you go ahead to iron it properly. You want to iron every process of this so that you have a good result at the end. You also iron the lining. So the next thing is to pick your lining and make it equal with the down part of. Also, I omitted that I reduced my lining by 2 inches on the hem line. So now you'll be making your lining and your main fabric equal and then stitch it down. Then you draw it up to your waist line and then you stitch it by the two sides. Also, you'll be doing the same thing for the back side also. This is what we have after stitching it down, and you can see on the hemline the 2 inches we shortened by our lining. Also, after turning it out, you need to iron it. You want to iron every process of this sewing. You can see the way it looks after ironing it. So now we'll be putting back the back parts, the two back pieces together, and then take our zipper measurement as zipper allowance. And from the waist, I'll be coming down by 8 inches for my zip to fix the zip. Then you stitch it down. This is what we have after stitching it down. Now you put the front parts on it, and then we'll fold it into two, just like this, to take our proper measurement. So now our waist measurement divided by 4, and then we'll place it right there. Also, you measure from your waist to your hip, and then you place your hip measurement divided by 4, and you connect it to your waistline. This is what we'll be stitching down. So from the knee, I'll be coming out by 2 inches. which is almost the same measurement we took when we were taking the measurements from the beginning. Your hip divided by 4 minus 3 inches. And then we extend it downwards and then we'll stitch it down. And this is what we have after stitching. You want to go ahead and iron. So for the band, this is going to be a bandless skirt. So I cut out a 1 inch bias from this same fabric, and then you place it just like this to secure the waist, just to cover the waist, just like this, and then you stitch it down round. And this is what we have. Our skirt is ready. I don't have zip here to fix at the moment, but I'll fix it later. But you can tell that there is no zip on it, and this is the final look. There's no light I would have ironed, and you see the perfect look. But despite that, see the way it looks. If you are yet to subscribe or like this video, please do so now. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next